Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's Saturday night. Saturday night, November 8th, depending upon where you live in the world. And is my lighting, everything is really weird in this StreamYard tonight. I've been doing some work in here and I'm just like, something seems off. I don't know what it is. Something's different. Can't figure it out. But hopefully you guys can hear me. If there's anybody out there, I haven't even looked at the dang chat. I got to find the chat. Let me get the rest of my cedar going. We've got some readings to do. All right, now we're all smoky and good now. Right? Yes, 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 yes. Get you a little of that smoke at home. How about that? Yes. Now that we're all fully smoked, let me move my stuff in a safe spot. Taffy was just in here a little while ago. And yeah, I think she's decided she doesn't need any more of the smelly stuff. All right, let's see. It's Saturday night. Let's see what we got going on. I know I got work to do, so let's get it done. And let me go find the comments. I know StreamYard made some changes. At least they said they have. So if things seem different, let me know. But if you have questions, I'm probably not going to have answers as to how that shit works. They're always giving me updates, and so I'm always like, well, we'll see what happens. Some broth. Okay, so CG is here. Okay, awesome, CG. I got your email. I don't know if you received my let me turn this stuff off. Let me see if you saw my return email because you had me draw up a chart that I've never seen before, and I wanted to make sure it's the right chart and the right birth time and that the chart looks right. So I don't know if you've seen this person's chart before, but when we get to your name, or actually ahead of time would be good too, if you could let me know, yeah, gee, that's right, or something doesn't seem right. That way I can get on the ball with it. So first come, first serve. We go in order. We look at charts. If you want me to spend time on your chart, you gift the channel. Otherwise, we do speed readings for everything else. Everything else is just speed reading, right? But for folks who want me to spend time, you gift the channel gifts you. We also do this private lives the last Saturday of every month. We do a private live. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's not on YouTube. It's private. It's a smaller group. It's limited seats, very limited, very small group. It's a little bit more intimate. You get to have a rapport with people. Some people just prefer that. It just works better for some. You want to get in on that, you just send me an email. Email is below in the details right under the live stream, and I will fill you in on how you can get in on that. They usually fill up pretty quickly because you can just pick what Saturday you want because it's the last Saturday of every month. Okay, so let me move on. Christy's first. What's going on, Christy? I see you're here. How are you doing? Show comments on stage. Oh, this is what they were talking about. Let me see how that looks. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not going to work with charts. Charts are on the stage. Oh, we have a list, though. Look, I see that we have a list. How did that work? Ah, look at this. I can change the font. Oh, I can do a bunch of stuff. All right, well, let me flip these back over here because I don't know. Now I got two comment sections going. Like, no, that's a little distracting for me. But yeah, somehow it highlighted that we had a list. Who's making that list? Was that Stacy? It is. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Thank you so much. Okay, so hello, Christy. Sinister Days. I see you there. How are you? Lovebug Blues is here. Team Wolf. What's going on, Team Wolf? Abatha, how are you, Abatha? CG. How you doing there, CG? I see you. All right, so we go in order. So it would say the order, the number, right? Christy would be number 1 as an example. Sinister Days would be number 2. Then Stacy would be number 3, right? Then Lovebug would be number 4. Team Wolf would be number 5 because we go to fresh names. Abatha would be number 6. So remember the numbers I'm giving you. I know, I know Stacy wrote me a nice list, and that was very, very generous of her. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't get paid to do it. So I have to try to figure out how to do this without depending on her. And it looks like SD would be number 7. Again, if you're here and if I don't have your Thailand, what's going on? Today is my birthday. Woohoo! Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. We go in order. So you, I think, are number 7. That would be. Yep. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. You got to get your info to me. The email's right under the live stream. Magically intuitive. You think you're number 8 then. So how's everybody doing? Yeah, we have rain turning into snow. Actually, it already sounds like snow. Yeah, they're calling it a winter storm for us. I was like, oh, shit. I even read somewhere up to 6 inches. I'm like, our first snow is going to be 6 inches. Okay. Well, what the hell? And then we go back to, I think 7 days from now, it'll be 65 degrees. I'm like, what? Come on. I don't like the extreme up and down. I'm like, okay, it's winter. Let's do the winter thing. Then let's do the spring, like give me the mode and I can adjust to that and be all good. But the 30, 40, 50 degree swings are crazy. Donna's here. What's going on, Donna? How the heck are you doing? Okay. Christy's passing, so Sinister Days is up. Well, thank you for saying that. That helps me a whole bunch. Yeah, that helps me a lot. All right, so Sinister Days, where are you? Are you here, Sinister Days? Yes, Sinister Days is like, hello, happy Saturday. Hello. All right, I hope your name is on your chart and that it says Sinister Days. If you're in the chat and I have your chart, if I've already looked at your chart once before, you got to make sure the name that I know the name of the chart. I'm not going to, if I have to dig and search and spend time, I'm going to the next name. It's the way it's got to be when I have some people who are waiting in line. We just got to move. We got to move. We got to move. We got stuff to do. We got people who paid already. So I got to be on the ball here. Let me find Sinister Days. I do recognize that name, Sinister Days. I know you've been here and I'm pretty sure it's under that name. So let me go find the S. RS. Just bear with me. There we go. Gotcha. Awesome. Great. Excellent. Come on. And okay, good. It did it. Okay, so let me remove that and let me get that chart on the screen. Sinister Days is here, so we're going to see what we can do here. All right, we're going to go with what is kind of jumping out at me for you, Sinister Days. Okay, interesting times coming up. You have a stellium and Saggy in your 8th and your 9th houses. Wow. Okay. You have a 29-degree Venus. Woo. All right. So what's going to be happening is you'll have the sun highlighting your Uranus and your Venus energy, which is exciting and new and different values, but partnerships specifically can be, personal and professional, but something very unconventional, very unique, just, out of the ordinary. Like that's Uranus energy. It doesn't want to be a follower. I'm sorry, I'm getting alerts all of a sudden from what the hell? Okay, got it. So the 20 degrees, or I'm sorry, 29 degrees, when the sun will get there, you have about, we'll say 7 days. All right. So in about 7 days, you're going to have that sun conjunct that Uranus, conjunct that Venus. So these can be authority figures. These can be like boss energy, people you look up to, even, like dad energy. It's significant one-on-one relationships, right? Personal, professional. When you have those kind of relationships, because it's Scorpio, these are deeply bonded energy. There's a lot of history, a lot of soul memory with these kind of energies, lots of soul energy. Now, interesting, you have Venus going through your seventh house. You see this, right? Yeah, you got Venus just starting in your Scorpio. So as Venus travels through, what's going to happen for you is that's feminine energy. Now, Venus doesn't do her best when she's in Scorpio, but it's in the seventh house. So that's Venus's placement. So there's a possibility for beauty, harmony, peace, love, but deep bonds. So it's a nice combination of the like desire and the the Venus wants to just feel good, whether it's sensual, smells, taste, touch, right? But it's also about the money and the gifts with Venus. Let's be clear on that. So when she's in Scorpio, she's just really focused, not really focused, it's the feeling. It's the deep, intense feelings of the past. So feminine energy, people who may come in, it doesn't mean they're necessarily females, but they exude a strong feminine quality about them. Okay. And that's probably going to be um, a strong connection with with the um, with the newness of the sun touching Uranus and touching the Venus energy. Okay, and I've pulled it out like 7 days from now, right? And the Venus will be at 11 degrees even at that time, which is super fascinating because, well, that is the Uranus stuff. It's the different, the new, the surprising, unconventional, right? So that's what will be prominent for you because down here in your third house, you have some objects like at 13, 16, 18. And then, you got stuff in water, right? And so it's a lot of water energy. There's a lot of strong resonating stuff that will feel good, will feel like family, will feel like this, oh, I vibe with you, tribal energy. So a lot of it doesn't have to be like ancestry, as in we're blood related. A lot of it's likely going to be, somebody new, someone different, but yet they feel old in some way and not old as an age. Like there's something that feels very familiar about them. And you're talking, you're communicating. This might even be online, possibly because the third house is brought into this picture. Third house energy is online and snail, or I'm sorry, like emails and texting and who the heck knows, but your local community, and it does trigger family stuff. It does trigger the family stuff, but it's it could be peers and neighbors and coworkers and friends, but just people that maybe, you're familiar with, but yet something exciting, new and different. Okay? So that is on your menu for the after the 7 days time, okay? Cuz it'll kind of amp up a little bit between the 7 to 12 days for you. Partnerships, new, different, exciting. Hopefully money. Hopefully something comes through where it's like cha-ching because Venus can bring that. That's a possibility, especially with Jupiter retrograding at 25, and it'll be touching on your Sirius, which something feels really nurturing, family, maybe even mom vibration. Okay. Yeah. I don't like telling people that, yeah. The Cancer energy, yeah, it can be really creative. It could create babies, so so we're always just being aware. Like maybe I'm, just around people. But yeah, money would be great. I agree. Okay, so let me skedaddle along here. Sinister days. So then after that, Christy said she passed. Then it's Stacy. Stacy, are you going? And then Love Bug is next, right? Um, hello, Stacy. Are you still here? Because I think you were number 3. I don't know where'd that list go. She made up a list and everything. I know it's here. I just gotta find the darn thing. I always. There we go. Okay. Oh, Stacy's passing. Okay, Love Bug Blues, and then Teamwork, and then Abatha, and then CG, and SD does not have any info. All right, well, let's see. Is Love Bug here? Love bug is here. Love bug. Have you been paying attention? So what did I say about the name stuff? This is a test. What's your name, love bug? What name do I have you under here, love bug? Going once, going twice. Um, Hold on, my stuff is really being weird here. Oh, thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. All right. Let me go find Francesca. There we go. Let me go find. All right. Okay. So let's. Stacy's like, it's Francesca. All righty. Here we go. Let me get that chart on the screen. Francesca. Ta da. There you are. So let me see. Yes, of course, Saturn is still in your 7th house of partnerships, professional and personal. Saturn is going to stand still. Yeah, it goes back to like 24 degrees. So we got to wait until Saturn gets to 24, I believe it is. But yeah, that means she's conjunct your descendant, your partnership energy. You know, Saturn's all about restrictions, right? Things slow down, partnerships slow down, or they feel restrictive in some way. Somebody is bossy, possibly even. But it's, Saturn, it can bring tests. So you got the fiery Mercury going in Saggy. You just had a Mercury return. Oh my God, you're in it, right? Your Mercury's at 7. Okay. Mercury conjunct Mercury, 7 degrees. That's partnership energy. Oh, okay. Let me see if you got some other beneficial things that will create some ease in communication for you to help that along. Interesting. Even the moon is right now at 7 degrees. Look at that. A quincunx with the Mercury, a quincunx with your Mercury, emotions, family, but my long term goals. Okay. So Mercury's thinking and writing and communication. Sagittarius is kind of like out there. So having a Mercury in Saggy can be tricky because it's that Jupiter energy. And oh my God, I can tell you some stories that just happened to me in the last 7 days. Not long stories, really quick, short ones. And I swear, like maybe the last time this happened was over 10 years ago. There were 2 bills I did not pay on time this month, like right at the beginning of the month. I mean, it was completely off my freaking radar. And I blame the damn Mercury in Sagittarius. And it's been over 10 years the last time that ever happened. And I'm like, I cannot believe I just totally money sitting there in the bank, right? But just completely off my radar, like totally. And yeah, not just with one item, but 2. And I thought, damn, because Saggy, right? Jupiter, it also it even though it's supposed to be focused energy, which it can be, but at the same time, if your own Mercury has a little challenge to it, I don't think the Jupiter helps it. I think the fire in the air, like there's lots of thoughts. There's an expansion of thoughts, right? So it might, until you learn how to work with it, it might kind of feel like Gemini energy where there's just an abundance, right? Now, when the Mercury retrograde begins, that might be a little bit different. It'll probably be able to focus a little bit more on the details. You see, details and Jupiter don't get along, even though like focus is Saggy energy, but nah, not with the details. Saggy's not about the details at all. It really is just better looking at the forest. It doesn't want to see the different kinds of trees in the damn forest. So with this, touching your Mercury, communication is big. Again, coworkers, neighbors, siblings. There might be something here about futures and what you dream for your future and your thoughts about that stuff, because it's in that. I mean, it's Sagittarius. It's always kind of like it's got like that sagey vibe. It wants to know what's going on, what's going to be happening. And Mercury's all about the questions and the curiosity. So I don't. I do see you have Sappho at 9 and then Eris at 11, but the retrograde's gonna begin at this 6 degrees right here, you see? So, if you're waiting on an important piece of information or communication, you're gonna be getting it, right? Or you're gonna be getting some news or information, and maybe today's the information you're getting. Um, this could be work related, this can be coworker related because it's in the 3rd house. This is your local community, okay? And 7 degrees, it's important relationships, 7 degrees. It's also that Venus degree, so it can, yeah, you might be like, "Oh, yeah, I might be having a conversation." It might be about, you know, partnerships. Could have to do with love, but it could be professional because that's just the way it works in your chart, and you got the Aries in the 7th, so that's where your fiery energy goes. Now, the good news too is that your Saturn will get a communication, a communication from this Mercury. Now, is it a clear communication? Well, it might be a little annoying or uncomfortable. How about that? It might be a little uncomfortable. It's a retrograde Saturn because Mercury's going to go back and touch it. This Mars up in the skies is doing that right now. So if there's a reason you're here tonight in particular, like if there was a mail or something or an action that was taken, see how the 3 degrees is your Saturn and 3 degrees is your Mars. So they're communicating. There was an action possibly taken, and maybe it was felt a little restrictive because you've got these wounds, these deep wounds from the past in that 8th house. Okay. So when we think of partnerships and deeply bonded energy, um, yeah, it's tricky, especially with Scorpio in the 2nd. Now, the sun that's going through here and Venus going through your 2nd house of income and money, and then you're gonna have a Venus return. Woohoo! Now, when a female has a Venus return, what is that, right? Because you're eventually gonna have that. You're starting a new Venus cycle, a new love cycle, a new money cycle, a new income, self-worth. Self-worth is coming up really loudly here, self-worth. You got Venus in the 2nd house. Okay, so it really comes down to your thoughts about self. There's again, those are the deep wounds from the past, self-worth and self-love, okay? Scorpio energy, stuff from the past. And when I say that, remember that's connected to what goes on in that 8th house too. So something about rewiring and rechanging and rewriting your story for you so that you can move forward into all important love bug relationship stuff. Anything on love. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Because with Venus and a new love cycle beginning for you, it's giving you the opportunity to start fresh. But we can't start fresh. That's like, we have to we have to do the inner work. There's no way around it. If we don't do the inner work, we stay in a loop. We keep repeating shit. We keep going through the same kind of stuff, going through the same relationship struggles or non-relationship, wishing we had whatever it is, right? It's because we haven't done the inner work, and we have to do the inner work. And this is for all of us. Once we do the inner work, then the other stuff can blossom, can bloom, can grow, and we attract new, exciting, and different people. And that's because we did the work. Okay. So just, yeah, don't forget about you. It's going to be vital. You have an opportunity with that new Venus. Okay. So I have an updated list here. Teamwork, you're up. Where you at, teamwork? Says passing. Abatha. Abatha, are you still here? Let me get to Abatha. Give me an A. There it is. I see it. I found it. It just moved. It scrolled. I scrolled right past it. There it is. All righty. Here we go, Abatha. Let's get you up here. Abatha said, I'm here. Excellent. All right. Abatha, very good. Okay, let me kind of go this way and see what's going on here. Okay, so I just want to make sure I have the right. Okay, November 9th, 1971, Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. So whoever that is, you know who you are. Oh, it says SD. I'm sorry, it didn't say it over there. Okay, I see it in the email. Okay, I see what you got. Okay, very good. I see you there. I saw the email. All right. We're going to get to you in the order. I got you. I don't think you have a birth time, but I can create a noon hour chart. So we'll just talk about some of the outer things. You're welcome. That will be relevant. And then whatever comes through. How about that? Okay, Abatha, I got you on the screen now, and we are going to. Yeah, it's amazing. But, this Pluto over here, this is what's jumping out right now for me because this Pluto's at 131. It's done retrograding. It's not going to be coming back, right? So it's going forward. But this matters, Abatha, because it's going to touch on your Neptune. Pluto, wherever Pluto is, change is coming. That's what Pluto represents. Deep changes. Now, your Neptune in the first house talks about boundaries, physical boundaries, right? Establishing my physical boundaries. First house is my appearance, right? But it's also the physical body, especially our head, too. So that Neptune energy there, it's at 2 degrees. And Neptune can be institutional energy, institutional money. Um, it can be working for an institution even because it's at 2 degrees in your chart, and that would be the money degree, like cha-ching, but also love and values because it's the 2 degree, it's the Venus stuff. And I don't know why why it's popping up tonight so strongly. Normally you have all this other like lawyer energy around you. Right now it's this South Node and this Neptune that are coming in really strongly. So that South Node is your superpower. You've got it at in Aquarius energy. So it's all about very different, unique, something really authentic about you in your appearance. But even with possibly home and family and like there's history here, something about ancestry, even something a little bit out of the ordinary. This can have to do with your tribal energy, as in like the kind of friends that are attracted and drawn to you, even. But there's like this strong kind of superpower with that South Node. Okay. So, in general, when the South Node and the Neptune energy are together, we got to pay attention to some of that Neptune and its sensitivities. Neptune's really sensitive energy. And so your body, your head even would be very sensitive. Okay. And having the South Node at 4 can, so close to Neptune, it can make us emotionally sensitive as well. But I think having the Aquarian energy present can help you to be a little bit more detached even from the emotions, which I think is a blessing. But my whole point to all that is Pluto is going to be touching on these this year. Well, 2026, I'm talking, right? Because here we are, November. And so this Pluto is going to come along and it's going to be touching the Neptune. It's going to be touching your South Node and it's going to be changing kind of like your soul stuff because it's really about the history in the past. Number 4 is about the history in the past, but so is the South Node. So there's a change that's going to occur. And maybe it'll have to do with the sensitivities, but your appearance possibly even, for sure. And again, don't forget about the sensitivities and the boundaries. And Pisces is really creative energy. It can kind of have that. It can kind of have that Hollywood look to it sometimes because that's Pisces, theater, stage, screen, performances. Um, I think that having Neptune in Aquarius, just there's something really authentic, super unique, and original about people who have their Neptune in this Aquarius. And so the spirituality part of it now comes in with humanity and like social and groups and social services and social activities and friends, but looking out, it's like really highly altruistic energy. So Pluto coming along and triggering some of this. And somehow, possibly, values and even money can be connected with this because of the 2 degrees in the Neptune stuff. Neptune and Aquarius. Um, I'm looking for the connection. Right, right. There it is. It's like right in front of me. Yeah. So in a chart, when we look at a planet that's jumping out, we ask where what does Neptune rule? It rules Pisces. Well, where's her Pisces, everybody? In her second house of money and values and love. You see? So the information, the dots are there, right? Like the recipe and the ingredients, I should say, are there for this recipe. So a change. Now, that change again isn't until next year though. Okay? So you're kind of in the waiting game. But there's definitely some sort of a change coming, and it might help to make an emotional change as well with you, because changing the past absolutely affects the present, and when we affect our present, it changes the future. Oh, teamwork, please tell us about that. Please tell us about that. Tell us about how your Pluto has been on your ascendant for the past few years. For people who are going through it, like give them a taste of it. Change is the word. All right. Really seriously. So, I don't know what number you were. Thank God for Stacy. Abatha. CG, you're next. Let's go. CG's up. CG is up. All right, we did it. We got to CG. And so CG, did you get a chance to see what I drew up, that chart? If I can find it now. It was a new chart. I got to get it on the screen. Okay, I got it. I knew I had it. I'm like, where the hell did it go? All right, just give me a second. I'm moving a whole bunch of stuff around here. Let's get it on. Yeah, that should be the one. All right, here we go, CG. Let me is CG here. It's not CG's chart, but this is for CG. Hello, CG. Are you out there? I don't want to start talking if CG's not here. CG sent me money. CG, if you're not here right now, then we'll have to push you to the back. It just seems a waste. Are you out there, CG? Let me know. Let me know. Sometimes people go to sleep. Sometimes they go to the bathroom. Sometimes they have to go let the dog out, let the cat in, put the kids to bed, tell them to turn the TV down, whatever it can be. Is CG here? Oh, thank God. Okay, CG's here. Great. All right, so let me start working on this chart real quick. Let me get this in. So this is a really, really interesting chart. I got to look at it a little bit when I drew it up, and I hope it's the right chart. I hope it's the right time. I hope everything is accurate because I've never seen it before. I have no way to confirm or deny it. And I don't think the person is here where they can confirm or deny what I'm saying to say, yeah, that's definitely my chart. Or this is it. I've seen it. Anyway, Capricorn rising at 10 degrees. Yeah. Talk about serious energy. It's Capricorn at a Capricorn degree. Like, holy crap. Yeah. That's the physical body. That's the ascendant. Now, before I even go anywhere else with that, I just kind of want to point out how many number 24s there are in this chart. Pisces energy. 24. North and South Node. 24. This Vulcan. 24. Saturn. 24. Along with the 8th house cusp line, if this is the correct chart, right? There's the node. Anyway, that's a lot of Pisces energy so far. Sultan's victories at 24. There's just a lot. Um, Pluto, 24 in the 12th house. Pluto is exalted in the 12th house. It is in Saggy, which is really interesting, right? And then they've got Jupiter. Look at the Mercury's a retrograding Mercury. So this makes this Mercury retrograde that's about to begin really interesting for this individual. Choices and options are going to be big. Maybe this person is being faced with some choices and options, but when people who are born with a Mercury retrograde, word is, I don't have a Mercury retrograding in my chart, but what they say is, anytime I've talked to these people, they will say that when Mercury is actually beginning and going through its retrograde, that's when like it makes sense to them because they have a Mercury retrograde and things like work out for them. Things flow better for them. The information is, they're more clear, they're more spot on, where most people kind of struggle with the Mercury retrogrades. I would imagine that, is varying degrees depending upon things in their chart, especially if the Mercury's aspected in a weird way. And you see this one, Mercury being squared by Saturn. You see that? Saturn at 24, so it's squaring the Mercury and the Jupiter. Yeah, Saturn can be authority figures, dad energy. And it's not just the Saturn, it's the wounds of the past, the trauma, the occult, right? The eighth house stuff, the healing, the eighth house stuff. There's a lot of stuff there. So Saturn, man, Saturn is our work, our duty, our responsibility. Okay. At 24 degrees, this can be work. At 24, we think theater, kind of theatrical, super creative, because it's Leo and Pisces mixed together. That can be a hard road, but this is in relationships, this is partnerships, but even a little bit of the history and the past, and maybe some wounds attached to that, possibly. All right. Now, with that, this chart having the nodes at the 24, okay, superpower right there. The details and perfection overload. Because we got Pisces energy, which can be about perfection too, because it's super idealistic, but it's got like Virgo power to it, which is absolutely says, hey, things got to be organized in a certain way. So this can be tricky. It can go extreme. It can be really polar even, where sometimes it operates where it's, just so, and all the P's and the Q's and the I's dotted and the T's crossed and everything's got to be this way and clean and hygiene. And you know how Virgo can be, right? The details. But then at the same time, the Pisces can be really loose and more laid back and easygoing with the flow, but that super idealism can exist there. And when we have a super idealism kind of thing going on, perfection is what we're striving to be. And sometimes we can get really caught up in that. So this is this person's superpower. Okay. Now, with that superpower, okay, they're connecting, it connects to their Jupiter. We'll make that blue. So that Jupiter kind of amps all of that up a little bit. It expands upon it. It adds to it. It goes large. Now, this person's going to be a super detective and all about the details and what's hidden anyway, because of the Scorpio energy. Like I'm working, my job is I dig for work, I drill for work, I research for work. Like that's Scorpio stuff, right? Psychology, delving into the subconscious, that's Scorpio stuff, but it is the healer ultimately. But of course, it's the occult, personal relationships, but also professional relationships. But the Sun and Venus are here together. This can be tricky. Having the Sun and the Venus, that makes the Venus on the combust side, which means my values can be, it just might be kind of hard to reconcile with who and what I value. Okay. And it's a different kind of a Venus too. because she's in her detriment in Scorpio energy, right? So Venus is normally peace and harmony, but Scorpio's about, hey, I am ready to go to war, god damn it. Like that's Scorpio energy. I will not back down. It's intense as hell. Venus, oh, she usually wants peace, right? Harmony and beauty. Like that's Venus. So this is kind of a conflicted Venus, but the sun being so close can make that a little bit tricky. Okay. So this is just scraping the surface. There's like so much here in this freaking chart. It's heavy, it's deep, it's intense. There's a lot of the past that oozes through in this chart. I think it's complex. This person also has an Aries moon at 0 degrees. If this is right? This is why these things are important. This is some call this like an initiation point. It is an extreme degree, right? It's at 0. When it's in Aries, like ego is going to be big. We're really young at it with a 0 degrees Aries, especially with what we value. So we might even be called a little childlike 0 degrees Aries energy with our values, with who and what we value. This can be desires and love and money. So money management skills, what we will spend money on, how we handle money. Of course, the Pisces probably doesn't help either, being in the second house, unless you have like you're working for institutional energy, hospitals, you know. Um, so this chart has some beautiful actually it has a lot of kites in it, and I didn't take the time to draw them in, but there's a lot of kites, and there's a kite that yeah, here's the tip of one of the kites, and so it's Mercury and Jupiter together, right? And remember what I was saying about Mercury and the Saggy energy, or Mercury mixture with Jupiter, and how I forgot with Mercury and Sag, right? How I just completely forgot about some things, right? Like she was just blown right off. Yeah, like there were so many other thoughts in my head. It just kind of pushed like things that might have been really important all the way to the back, where I was like, oh shit, okay, damn, I forgot that. So this can be a tricky combination unless we're using it for like creating, right? Creating, putting on a performance, but usually creative writing would be good, acting even, but maybe not that so much because it's got a Scorpio vibration to it. You follow? See, Jupiter is going to like preach and teach, right? It's got all this wisdom and this knowledge. But connecting with the Scorpio energy, because this can be really spiritual, there's a lot of psychic information that can come through too. You see? So this kind of reminds me of some of like the old school mediums, because I don't know if anybody's familiar. Like some of the old school mediums, I don't want to use the word theatrical, because then that makes it sound fake. And that's not what I'm going for here at all. But they took their job very seriously. And they would share that, you have to dress the role. It's a profession and you have to treat it as such. And they were really serious. And when they would do their work, they would normally be on a platform in front of an audience. So in a way, there was a little bit of that theatrical kind of thing to it. You follow? Even though they were legit. They were literally bringing people through, talking to dead loved ones and whatever it was, right? Spirit guides, whatever it was. But it wasn't about playing tricks on people, okay? So this kind of has that vibration to it for me. But it's in their 10th house. So the 10th is work, and very serious work, But with that said, and because there's so much Pisces and 12th house kind of energy, especially with the Pluto in the 12th, I didn't even tap into that yet. When people have their Pluto in the 12th, they're going to just know things. It's just that simple. They're going to know things. And there's a lot of wisdom from the past. They probably might not be able to say how they know these things, because Pluto is just really strong in that 12th house location and at the Pisces degree. It's exalted. It's exalted. Now, because it's in Saggy, This hopefully can be had add a spiritual tone to it, where it's using that knowledge and that wisdom and that information. Yes, it will want to teach, it will want to preach even. But the 12th house energy is hidden typically. It's our subconscious. So that might take a while for a youngster or whatever. Sometimes people are even older, but they're still young. You follow? So we have to always just be patient with ourselves, and we have to grow into our charts. And there is nothing I can say or do for someone to grow into their chart any faster. But I can point out some of the other things that can be very tricky, things to watch out for, to look out for. Aries is going to be super impulsive and very feisty at 0 degrees. That's just the reality. But super impulsive, possibly, like I said earlier, with values and money, and maybe even in love and desires, possibly. Second house, there might even be something with addictions. It's a possibility because Taurus can have a very addictive personality, as can Pisces, and the need for escape, possibly, right? When we're young, yeah, when we're young, we absolutely are finding ways to escape. And it can be escaping through other people, but we can just, we can escape through our art. We can escape in a good book. We can escape with a movie. We can escape with a bottle. Like there's a whole lot of ways we can escape. So it's just finding our healthy escapes. This tells me very unique and different. Uranus retrograding in Pisces. So beliefs and faith outside of the box, very different, very unique, right? Like it's going to dance to its own music. For sure, Uranus, very much about a little bit on the rebellious side, probably having it in Pisces can kind of help uh, dampen that a little bit. A retrograding Uranus, I would always be highly aware of in a person's chart. But this person thinks they're the boss, thinks they're the boss of their own life, which we all are. But Uranus already is like, you're not going to tell me what to do. The 10 degrees is boss energy. So it comes in again as you're not going to tell me what to do. You see? So this is tricky energy. That's hard to work with, I think. Until we've learned how to work with it, it can absolutely be like a major superpower. So I would imagine you can see the other tip of the kite right there on the ascendant, more boss energy. I kind of mentioned that at the very beginning. That's bones and the body, and just looking like a professional. Um, but looking like the authority figure, looking like a parent, looking very serious, even possibly even maybe even looking a little older than they really are. That's a possibility. We think of skin and teeth and knees, and we think of, yeah, Capricorn stuff when it comes to the body because it's in the first house. It's in the first house. So sometimes these folks, might just have some of those spine things, spine issues or whatever that occur. So, let me see. I did that, and their north node. I can't forget their north node. This is what they come to do. What the kind of one of the soul's goals things. 24 degrees. Well, you know what that is, right? To not be so focused on the details and the perfection, and to be a little bit more relaxed, to be a little bit more like in the flow. Even though this chart has a lot of flow with the 24 degrees, it might not be about flow. It might be because, again, it can be about escapism. It can take a lot of different routes: theater, drama, art, spirituality, escapism, substances. Like it can go a lot of different ways with Pisces energy. It can be surrender and prayer, people of the cloth, even healing institutions. I want to be a healer. I want to surrender. Like it can go either way. So I find having Uranus in their Pisces is probably something that they are aware from time to time, and something they have that I think will be beneficial is that it actually is in a square with Aldebaran and the opposition Antares, however you prefer it. So it's a T square. And that is my ability to communicate and talk and relate, right? Gemini energy, excellent forms of speaking, power in terms of using words and language and writing, communications in general, which means the Uranus squaring that can make that challenging because Uranus is like bursts. So there might be communicative bursts, right? Pisces can be a little bit melodramatic even. It can feel sorry for itself even. Um, so having that squared up, which creates stress and tension to communication in my thoughts, especially with children, and siblings and coworkers, but romance, the department of romance might be a little challenging too when we think of like meeting people and dating. That might create some stress. Now, the beauty of all of this is that a person's uniqueness and their authenticity, these are going to be the superpowers for the next 18 years. The next 18 years, it is people who are okay with who they are and being authentically themselves is what is will catch the eye of other individuals, is what is will be of value, major. That's like that will be the commodity. So for this person embracing a little bit more if they don't, but being comfortable in their own skin is really key with Aquarius energy. So once they reach that point of comfort, if they're already not there, um, over time it just naturally happens. But the long-term thing is, you know, self-worth, self-care, self-love, but how we talk to ourselves, like the self-talk we have here. So, with that said, that's this house right here, the third house, which is going to be kind of on the impatient side. So, this means I think, I talk, but then I act. It all happens really fast, maybe too fast, because Mars is impulsive and sporadic, and it's also bursts. And this is communications. But because it's Aries energy, I'll have that thought, but then I'll just take actions on it. And this energy for all of us, wherever Aries is in our chart, it's the fine wine energy, which means it takes decades for this to develop into the fine wine. Aries energy blossoms and becomes really beautiful. The age of 50 and beyond. Yeah. Yeah. Age of 50 and beyond is when it starts to really, it starts to take on some leadership qualities and it feels comfortable in its skin. But it's not necessarily being bossy because a leader has people following, right? And what that means for this person is they have the ability to blossom into that if they already aren't doing it, but it is a test of patience. Mars has zero patience. Aries has zero patience. That's what this is, a test of patience with the words and the communication. But the goal with the Aries, because it can be really positive and optimistic, and that is really a wonderful thing to have in the third house. That means my mind is going to be positive and optimistic. Obviously, it can be naive too. So that's why the age and life experiences are going to be key. And this Aries energy is very courageous in general because that's, I'm the pioneer. I am willing to go where no one has gone before, damn it. So this energy just has to live, just has to experience, and just has to keep going, just has to keep experiencing. And over time, the courage, and over time, the leadership qualities where people want to follow somebody who's leading the way in whatever that is, whatever endeavor this person wants to lead. But ultimately, the Aries energy becomes like this spiritual leader. And what that means is when they speak, it's inspiring to others, inspiring speech instead of warlike words, which is what Aries does in the third house when it's young. You follow? You see the difference? So there's just things where over time we have to have patience with ourselves and we just have to know I'm a work in progress, but I have to stay committed to that work. I have to be committed to developing who I am. And the only way to do that is to know that change has to be part of my life and it can't stay the same. And a person with the goals being all about change, Scorpio energy, which wants deep changes, which is going to be very serious about making changes too, by the way. I don't think that, yeah, I think this person might definitely embrace that. It might be slow. It might seem slow. It might seem to take forever, actually, because it's in the 10th house. And the 10th house says, I don't reward you immediately. It says, I'm not talking days. I'm not talking months. I'm not talking years, right? Yeah. Saturn energy, again, there might be some of the rewards there, but maybe they aren't the rewards that we imagined. Maybe we get them in a different way. Now, Jupiter is the greater benefic in this chart. This is the greater benefic. And it is at the tip of a kite. So, because this person has so many strong kites in the chart, the kites allow us to have a focus for all of our energy, and it just easily flows. Now, this can be what I call a setup, which is because things so easily occur and we don't have to try super hard. Sometimes we become complacent and we expect them to always happen that way. So that would be difficult. But for people who don't have this in their chart, they're like, oh God, I wish I had a chart where shit would just easily happen, right? But a chart like this, there's not just trying energy, but there's a focus of where it's supposed to go in multiple locations. Okay. So this could, other than complacency, it could make, there might be this kind of scattered energy because a lot of things easily occur, you see? So it might challenge the ability to focus on something or to chisel it down to one or two things to like hone in on, especially since the ability to focus is held with Sagittarius, you see? But it's even at the damn Scorpio degree. The past and the history comes up yet again. Now, they do have an extreme degree here on the 11th house cusp line of different and new and astrology and social causes, social work, group energy, humanitarian energy, right? Very altruistic energy comes up again. So spiritual, right? With Saggy, maybe even religion for sure. But freedom is big. Freedom and not conforming when you have Saggy in the 11th. Yeah, think you're honest. Like, I'm not, yeah, again, I dance to my own music, the music that I make. And I kind of understand this energy. And whenever I would hear and say it to people, I would be like, I wonder what that's like. Do you know what I'm saying? But in relating it to being creative, I completely get it. Because I wouldn't hang anything on my walls unless it was something I did myself. Like, I totally get it. I just wouldn't. And yeah, this can be a little bit like that just because they have a lot of creative energy in their chart. Okay. So their Sagittarius energy is focused in the 11th house. Focused on what? Again, it can be being the boss, but a little bit of rebellion and type of energy, possibly. This is traveling. I think I had a friend where they were big with boats when they have Saggy because it's technology, but possibly traveling across water using technology, which of course can be the airline, can be traveling by air, but it can be boats too. So in terms of Saturn, which can create, those restrictions and someone being harsh and cold, with the Jupiter, that might also delay the benefits and the good and the superpower of Jupiter delivering as the great benefic. Or it delivers, but it comes in a way where it's like so structured and it might even have a bit of a traditional thing involved with it in a way because it's kind of old school with Saturn. We think karma even. So it's one of those things where it might feel like a bittersweet type of thing where, oh, I got this great. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's like some burden attached to it. This is actually work. Oh, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. There can be some of that. That's a possibility. And all you can do with that kind of energy is just work through it. You just work through that stuff. And really, that's what you do with the whole damn chart. You just learn how to make it happen and how to make it work. Because over time, those experiences, you master your own chart. Nobody can do it for you. I do want to make a quick mention about Cirrus here. Cirrus is grains and food. It's how we nurture ourselves, how we feel nurtured. It can be mom energy because a mom is the first person who feeds the child, literally from her body. Um, 15 and 17, there can be food sensitivities. That's a possibility with Neptune right there. Maybe to grains, even possibly. Maybe allergies, possibly. Possibly. Let me see. 15 and 17, the mind. Okay, Libra. Leo, actually. Okay. Let me see if that gets okay. So it's a trine. All right. Let me see what we got over there real quick and see if it creates okay. And then let me see if we got Hercules squares that exactly there. Okay. Okay. So Hercules is squaring. Oh, yeah. I would love to know if this person ever feels spiritually inclined or if that 24 degrees Pisces Neptune energy is used in a different way for them, which is really possible. 17 degrees, no. Okay, so 17 over there, no. All right. Okay. So the emotions and the mom energy is what this one's coming out to be because it's the fourth house. So this is connected. Yeah, this is a strong connection to mom energy and the nurturing. And it's a square. So it's stress and tension. Neptune can make things absent, meaning there was no nurturing there. It can do that, especially since it's a square to the Hercules, which is in the fourth house of home and family and mom. So possibly some of the creature comforts and mom stuff was challenged if it was there. It might not have been as warm and comfy as we wanted it to be, especially with fixed Taurus energy. Taurus is, if there's one thing first of all, Taurus can be really stubborn, right? Absolutely. Um, but Taurus will typically know what it likes and what it doesn't like. That's Taurus. It rules the food, literally. So it's usually, yeah, it's going to know how to nurture itself with food. It might even use food, literally connect food to nurturing for itself with its emotions. And if it's not food, it can, like food. Sometimes Venus loves sweets for sure. She's got a sweet tooth, but it can even be with goods, buying myself things like as rewards. You know how many people do that? They don't feel good. Go online, go shopping or go out shopping, get some new shoes, makeup, hair, get a pedicure, whatever the hell, like to boost their emotions. That's a really good possibility. So I'm hoping that let's see, let me go find the chat now. I just realized I just started reading that chart and I went wild, or I just started going. And let me see here. Is CG here? CG said yes. CG said she didn't. Um, okay, so CG, yeah. CG, did you wanna um yeah, CG sent me an email, but CG, did you wanna come on? Did you have a question in pertaining? Because I know this isn't your chart, and you said that the person wasn't going to be here, so I don't know, like, I don't see you in the chat after what I clicked on earlier. Did this help? Do you have a question? I know it's hard to ask a question for somebody else. I feel like I tried to cover a lot of the, with all the stuff. Is CG still here? Hello, CG, are you here? Um, hello, CG? CG. Come in, CG. You sent money. I just wanna make sure if there was anything in particular that I didn't leave out or that you need clarification on, otherwise I'm gonna move on. I think, yeah. Maybe she sent me a message in the email. I understand sometimes it's a little difficult or can be a little tricky. Hmm. Okay, I don't see anything there. Let me go back to the live stream real quick and see if CG came in. CG said yes. Oh, I wish I knew what that yes was for. Let me give CG the link. CG paid. I only offer the link to people who have sent money to the channel because we don't have time. I can send the link to people who sent money. All right, CG, here's the link for you because you said yes. I don't know if that means yes, I would like the link, or yes, I have another question, or yes, you covered it. I have no idea. I know I have that. I do that with my mom. Unfortunately, I don't ask her one question. I ask her 3 questions in one question, and she's like, and so I'm trying to focus on just one question. I'm gifting the reading to her. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's why I didn't know if you felt that I covered those, that this would help her. Did that work? Are we good? Um, I don't know if she was able to hear any of this. If not, you just email me and let me know. Because yeah, you just email me and we'll work through that, okay? If she wasn't able to hear it. Because these are recorded, okay? I'm trying to see if CG's going to grab the link. Maybe not. And that's fine. You don't have to. CG, I know you read, I know you look at charts. So I didn't know if you had already looked at this chart and if you had a specific question. All right. So I'm assuming that means no. Oh, it says CG entered. Let me get CG in here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi. Can you
Hey,
hear me?
hear you. Hold on. Let me turn my microphone up a little bit more. All
No
right.
worries.
Oh, there you are. I got you. Excellent.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see the link earlier, so I wasn't sure.
You didn't,
Um,
because my silly head just started reading. I just went crazy.
no worries. Thank you. This is great. I'm gonna re-listen to it and then give it to her as a kind of a gift. But she's in university right now and is questioning her career choices. But you gave some really interesting things about going deep into research and
Oh, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
And some of the
Yeah.
stuff I could see. You asked about the spiritual side. I don't really know that much about that area, to be fully honest, so
Yeah. That's
I don't
fine.
know.
Well, that might be a bit of a struggle
Mhm.
just because it's really about something that's super unconventional.
Yeah.
You follow?
Yeah.
So, but like I was saying, with all the Pisces around the chart in so many places, it's like, wow. So working for institutional energy, whether that's government and hospitals, healing, and like there's just a lot of there's a lot of that in this chart.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of an alignment. I'd say career-wise, we've had
Yeah.
conversations
Yeah.
about where she wants to go, and in fact, some of the areas she does wanna go is kinda going back to more of that traditional. Because I keep talking about, yes, technology is great and all that, but we're seeing how, things like
Yes.
AI are impacting what we would normally think is, good
Absolutely.
long-term careers. Um,
Absolutely.
so we've been having those sort of conversations as she's going through her studies now. And it's interesting because you mentioned psychology, and that is one of her majors.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, that's Scorpio. That's all Scorpio up there. Not to
Yeah.
mention she's got the freaking Pluto in the 12th. Oh my god.
Hmm.
She will
So
have deep insights into people.
yeah, and then yeah. So I'm gonna listen to it again, and I thought, okay, because it's just when we're having conversations, it's questioning a lot of like, am I going in the right direction? Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And then
hard. That's the age where it's like, "What? I have to make a decision?"
mhm. You
Kinda
talked about
mysterious?
communications and creativity. She is creative, but she's
Mhm,
kind of low key creative. Like you don't
mhm,
see it right away. And it was interesting
mhm,
that you made the remark that she's older. She looks
mhm,
older than she is.
mhm.
Yeah, so there was a few things that resonated. I'm going to listen to it again and see if what I can pull from it and then share the link with
Oh,
her.
well, that's good. Good, 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 good. Yeah, so having Pisces in the 2nd house of money, like, this is what I'm, making a living at. Um, Having that there, again, the institutional stuff and healing and just whatever evolves, like, whatever our healing institutions are gonna be looking like,
Mhm.
because I know they're changing, you know,
Mhm.
because they're
Mhm.
broken. They're absolutely broken. Um, it's, it can hopefully eventually include things where they're recognizing the emotions and the deep psychological stuff
Yep.
combined with a holistic approach and how, oh my God, does that actually affect the health of the physical body?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So there's just revelations, like things that don't really get necessarily acknowledged, and Uranus is technology and she's got that there, right? Uranus tech. But in light of, like you said, the way things are going, where the tech jobs are being replaced by AI,
Right.
um, yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
would just, yeah, like you said, the healing stuff and whatever she's already on the path to, or even research and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. So, yeah, I thought that piece was, and she definitely digs in. Like she's a
Yeah, how
really
could
good,
she not? She has a retrograding Mercury. Oh my
yeah,
God.
she has a really good study habit. She's really good with that piece. I think
That's good.
sometimes I see her get overwhelmed with anxiety, but that's part of the, you know,
Yeah.
growing up. And,
Yeah.
yeah, trying to think that you have to make all the decisions now, but
Well, yeah, I think that's probably more important is just to have a support of knowing that, you know, you can narrow things down as you go along.
right, right, right. You won't have all the answers now. That's for
No, not at all. And getting your toes wet and dabbling a little bit
sure.
and utilizing some of that 11th house energy, which is like volunteering. And that's also a
Hmm.
lot of the Pisces stuff. We're volunteering. We're not getting paid to do it. But a lot of time volunteering can teach us what we do not want
Oh,
to do.
100%, and it can teach you what you do wanna do.
Absolute both.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
For
100%.
sure.
Okay,
So,
that'll
yeah, I'd say
cool.
I'd say yeah, she sounds like thank God, because when I first saw this, I thought, "Ooh, this can go a lot of different ways."
Mhm, mhm.
But when I see trines that are capped with that kite, these folks, that gives them the focus. It's just an automatic focus, a focal point for all that supportive energy to just easily flow. So, I am glad to hear that it's flowing
Good.
in a
Yep,
good way.
me too. Me too.
Excellent. All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you,
You
thank
are
you.
welcome. Yep, thank you.
Have a good night.
Yes, you too. Take care. All right, we're moving along. Okay, that's great. Close the window. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. She is a gifted. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so where are we going? Second. Okay, I gotta follow along and find out who the heck is next. Um. Oh, I see Steffi G. Oh, ooh, she said, "I did it and I barely survived." That must have been the Pluto on the ascendant thing we were all talking. Yep, teamwork said that. Yeah, definitely change. Team Wolf said it's not, or Team, I said Team Wolf. Teamwork says it's not recommended. Well, yeah, we just kind of get it, right? We don't. Where the hell is the list? Who was next? There we go. I found it. Magically Intuitive, are you here? Donna Marie, after Magically Intuitive. Is Magically Intuitive here? Oh, Magically Intuitive is here. I see you now. I was at the wrong spot. I'm all over the damn place in this chat. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just trying to find where the damn list is at. All right, Magically, let me get you in here. Wait a minute. Okay, so yeah, we're going in order. Okay, I can actually see that chat on the chart. All right, let me find Magically Intuitive on here real quick. Okay, I got it. Yay. I'm so glad. I was starting from above, so it was faster, and instead of reverse, that takes forever. Let's get Magically up in here. All right, Magically Intuitive. Here we go. We are looking at your chart. All righty. So what's going to be going on with you magically? All right, Mercury going through your 7th house. Okay, so magically, yep, the sun's going to be entering your 7th house pretty soon. In 2 days, you'll have sun in your 7th. So 7th house is relationships, partnerships. Yep, the sun can be an authority figure, but it definitely is a spotlight on partnerships. So this can be personal and professional partnerships. While it's in Scorpio, these are going to be, yeah, deeply bonded relationships, shared values, blood bonds, history. Yeah, it's that deep Scorpio stuff. $25. Okay, so you got your Jupiter there. You've got Jupiter in an opposition with, is that your Neptune? Oh, you do have Neptune at 25 in Cappy. Oh, okay. And that's your Estrella there. And you've got Neptune at the opposition. Jupiter opposing Neptune. Oh, wow. So I'm wondering, yeah, do you feel like there's a trigger here for travel and things with the future? Capricorn is like my goals and what I want to go do, right? What I'm working towards, what I'm building, and yeah, a lot of stuff about the future. It's real serious energy, but it's with Neptune, and Neptune can be dreamy, right? So it's like my dream, but it's in the 9th house. 9th house is travel. And then Jupiter down there can be the travel stuff too. So this Jupiter has been opposing your Neptune, your beliefs about the future, your beliefs in general, your own spirituality, but your physical body, your appearance, even your own freedoms. Yeah. Neptune can do like that dissolving of the ego type of stuff with that 25 degrees. But working possibly again more corporations and institutional and government energy, but spiritual stuff is like pretty strong. Teaching and publishing, yeah, higher education even can pop up there. So with the Jupiter here, tell me, I want to know, has some good already occurred for you? Even though it's not your greater benefic, you got Neptune up there. And Jupiter and Neptune, like there's some similar energy. There can be confusion, right? And Jupiter can bring focus. especially focus on the past and our emotions and those connections and that wisdom, the wisdom from the past, connecting it to the present and then to the future. Okay, so that's going to do a retrograde. So anyway, this is your mind and your thoughts and your communication, but third house is yeah, the details. So I would really like to know like yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so you had your Mars connecting with your Pluto. And now this Mercury is going to begin its retrograde here for you. And it's going to go over your Pluto again. Okay, that's a lot of intense, deeply bonded energy, partnerships, communications with individuals that you have those deep bonds with. And sometimes these can be random people. They can be, although it's the seventh house, which is usually significant relationships. But if you're working professionally, you may come across people where you have those connections. Um, I met somebody not too long ago, a week or two ago, and it was kind of like that, and it was just kind of, yeah, random and out of the blue. But it was, once you start talking a little bit, it's like, oh, Lord, shit. Like there's just that deep connection. So as Mercury retrogrades through the seventh house of partnerships, and while Jupiter is is going to sit in your third house of communication, Mercury goes back into Scorpio. So Mercury goes back to 20 degrees. Which means Mercury and Jupiter will communicate and connect again. So hopefully you had some sort of a nice communication and a connection, because typically, magically intuitive, I believe you're female, right? So in terms of relationships, looking for masculine energy, that Mars can be the masculine energy. Some say for females, look at Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be the masculine energy you're looking for if you're talking about personal partnership stuff. And Jupiter going through your third house is communications, but it can just increase the busyness of your mind and travel and communications because it's going through there. But emotions for sure. But Jupiter will give you the confidence. Have you been feeling more emotionally confident? Have you found yourself like listening to yourself and being like, wow, like I'm really kind of bold right now. I'm really kind of, there's some confidence here because the Cancer energy can be kind of sensitive about the things that it says and the things that other people say to it. It's got that empath quality. So, in terms of making connections, Venus, your great benefic, is now in Scorpio of deep connections. It is in the placement of day to day routines, which can include work and at home. So, the opportunity, if you're wanting to connect with people, the opportunity is there. And you even have the possibility for things to be long term because they'll connect with your Saturn. You have a natal Saturn at 23. So, hopefully, you've already started up some communications and conversations, and this retrograding in Mercury back to 20 degrees of Scorpio means it's going to be talking with your Saturn again and the Jupiter over here. So you have the opportunity, right? The only thing that I have caution about here is that it's the Saturn, which happens to be in the 11th house. And usually the teaching with Uranian energy, which is the 11th house of friends, usually Uranus is new and exciting, but it's usually not like staying and lasting energy. But Saturn is. Saturn is about, you know, we can be friends for a long time. We can be partners for a long time. Like that's it's a serious energy. It says, I'm not in it just to have a good time and fun. Yeah, that's great. But the other more serious things have to line up. And if that's what you're looking for, then, you have the ability because you've got trine energy here. You've got trine energy and oh, I see. You have trine energy, but what kind of there's a little bit of a hiccup I see. And the hiccup is that because this means it creates like a kite energy, which you just saw me talking about on the last chart. But at the tip of your kite would kind of be this wound, this Chiron wound. It's the details. It's perfection. It's looking for perfection. It's the details. Yep. Paying, maybe I'm too analytical. Things have to be too organized. But there's some sort of a wound, whether it's, yeah, can be children, fun, joy, creativity, and romance. There's a healing that has to occur here. It's Chiron, the wounded healer. And it's at 20 degrees. So it's also with individuals that I have history with on that soul level. It's a Scorpio energy. So it's deeply bonded energy. So it's domestic, you know, some wounds with, we're going to live together. We're going to be domesticated, right? We're going to share space. Yeah, that can be the Virgo stuff at times it can be super tricky unless we're mindful, because then it's just running the show and we aren't even aware of it. Yeah, it sure can be. So with the domestic stuff, yeah, I've got the date on the screen and it's already 16. I'm looking at the nodes. The nodes are already at 16. So the nodes were already there at 20 degrees. Sun sextiling the south node, the superpower. Yeah, with the Mercury going through, but when it's a retrograde, anytime we're talking about a retrograde, folks, okay, which we're in, even though it didn't begin retrograding, we're in the retrograde zone, which that means we don't have all the information. So I'm probably going to change my mind about something, or somebody's probably going to change their mind, or I'm going to at least have to go back over and rethink something and redo something. It's your seventh house. It's your seventh house. So if you're considering particular relationships in a serious way, there's some rethinking. There's some things that you're still discovering. I can't, yeah. You just kind of got to let them be revealed to you before you make major decisions, folks. Major decisions, do not make a major decision till after Mercury gets back to the 6 degrees. That's like 4 weeks out. You follow? So if this is lining up, if this is something that's important for you, you're going to kind of wait. Okay. Give it a little bit more time. Okay, we got an updated list. Thank you so much for doing that, Stacy, because I am all right, here we go. Updated list. It says Donna Maria's next. Donna, are you here? You're welcome magically. Donna, then Steffi, then SD. SD, I hope you're still here. What time is it? 10:30? All right. So is Donna here? Donna might not be here. Is Donna still hanging out? Oh, Donna might be here. Oh, wait, I see Stacy said, Donna Marie, you are next, but did Donna ever answer to that? She might have went to sleep. She might have went to get something to eat. She might have took out the dog. SD said, SD's here. That's good. SD's still here. That's good, because sometimes people on the list kind of disappear. And all right, so Donna Marie going once, going twice. All right, going 3 times. Sold to Steffi G. Steffi G, are you here? Are you next? SD's. Oh, Steffi says you can do SD first. Okay, I will. Because I believe SD sent money. So let's get SD up here. All right, SD, you sent money. Let me get you in here. Now, SD does not have a birth time. So with that, we will draw up a chart and we'll create it. We'll just put noon, and then the houses won't be a thing. It'll just be reading the planets. Hopefully I can remember that. SD, have you ever? No, you've probably never seen your chart before. That means, right? Yeah, because you didn't have a birth time. Okay, let me get SD's birth info here. Alrighty, so SD, and we have happy birthday to SD on November 9th. I know somebody born on November 9th, but not that year. Um, Wait a minute. I just wrote that in absolutely wrong. You know what? Wait a minute. Holy shit, it might be the same year. Holy crap, that's wild. But definitely not the same location. All right, so we'll do 12 noon. And we have Charleston. Speaking of that, I have to learn how to spell. Um, okay, let's see how that works. All right, SD, we got you in, and we've got a chart. Okay, so SD, was there something you wanted me to focus on? Yes, thank you, Steffi. That was very kind of you. Yeah, I got the Charleston. Let's see. SD, how about this? Let me give you the link. Well, you might not want it, but if you want the link, here's the link if you want it. That way I can have a rapport with you if you would like, so you don't have to type. But if you don't want to do that, then what did you want me to take a look at? Like, what do you want me to focus on, or do you want me to just tell you what kind of stands out to me? Let me get this chart up here while I've got it. Did I hit save? Let me hit that save button first. Oh, crap. What did I do? Are you guys still here? Yeah. Okay. You just never know. Okay. There we go. SD, this is you. At least for right now, it's you, but yet not you. So what's not you is, yeah, the Capricorn rising doesn't mean anything because we don't know your birth time. But look at SD with the big old. In this particular chart, as it stands, we see all the kites all the way around in the chart. Lots of kites. So it's a lot like the last chart we saw where there was a lot of kites like this. And you can even see what I call like that Solomon star kind of stuff. Oh, I think someone grabbed the microphone. Let me go take a look. Hello, SD. Are you in the? Yeah, let's see. Let's get this on here. Hello, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm groovy. Thank you so much. You're very generous with your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep, you are welcome. You are welcome. Was there something in particular that you wanted me to focus on for you?
Well, actually, you have done my chart before, and you said I would be traveling, and I thought I'm like I've already well kind of traveled because I had been to Portugal, Greece, and
Ooh,
France, and
ooh,
even Kigali on the continent in Africa. So I said, well, maybe she was talking about the traveling I had already done. But now I'm in Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm
oh,
about to go to Malaysia
holy
and
crap!
yeah, and I'm thinking about relocating to Thailand. So I'm like, okay, and I'm turning 54. Well, we're in Bangkok, so November 9th is already here. So I'm
Right.
already
Happy
54
birthday.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
so, so all that to say, I just want to know what my future is looking like because I'm retired and I'm just traveling, and I'm like, okay, what's my purpose?
Nice.
Because I'm really into like spirituality, and
Oh,
I'm
good for
just trying
you.
to figure out. Yeah, I want to get like really grounded with in
Mhm.
spiritual. Yeah, so all that to say, well, what does it look like for me?
Well, I have a question for you before I go any further, though. Is
Mhm.
you said I already looked at a chart for you before, and I didn't have the birth time either then?
Right.
Okay. All right.
And you
Okay, how
said,
the
and
hell did I
you were
know
on
you were
point.
gonna be traveling?
Yeah, you said,
Okay.
and I said, well, I already traveled. Like
Right.
I said, I had already been to those places, so maybe
Yeah.
you were already talking about I had already traveled, but I
Yeah.
didn't think,
Maybe it was just
yeah,
coming through strongly for you then at that time, like, okay, yeah, travel.
yeah.
Well, it probably had a lot to do with Jupiter going through Cancer. So maybe like in your traveling, does it have to do with work?
No, I'm retired, and it's
Oh,
just
you did. Oh,
just hard to
I thought I
go.
was thinking you just retired or something. No, so you've been retired, but you've been traveling.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right. Well, if spirituality is your thing, I'm loving this then because you have Mars in Pisces at 1 degrees. And that is spiritual activity. Mars is because I don't know where it is in your chart, like if it's really in your first house or your fourth, it could be anywhere because we don't have a
Yeah.
birth time.
Mm.
But if you're saying that that's important to you now, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's possible. I mean, it could even, yeah, I'm wondering maybe you've got Mars up there in your 10th house, like Pisces energy, possibly in the 10th. Like, did you work within healing institutions or like for government energy or anything like that?
No, no, but I've always, it's always been a background thing. Like it, it's always been my go-to. I'm very like herbalist type of person, very trying to help my family and get them
Mhm.
into herbs
Mhm.
and meditating, trying to meditate. I also have ADHD too, and that's kind of what's my obstacle.
Oh, your obstacle. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I mean, if all you have left to do is to just get spiritual, it seems like you've kind of accomplished a lot already. I mean, my God. It doesn't sound like you have any obstacles, I guess is what I'm
Uh,
saying. Wow. Um,
yeah.
well, I'll be real, like when we have like I was talking about the kites that you have, and you can see
Hmm.
like a giant star in your chart. You see that giant star you have?
Okay.
The blue lines that create, I know I should save this. Let me do
Yes.
that actually and let me draw it in. I'll reinforce it a little bit for you. Because even though we don't know where this is located, um I think this is a huge blessing because it things can easily occur and we have a focus of how they can occur already kind of built in for us.
Hmm.
It takes the energy of things easily occurring and it gives them a point of focus. And when we have that, um, I think those people are very, very fortunate that have that. I truly do. I see a lot of charts where people don't have it and they're just super scattered. They're all over the place. And it can be a little too much. But because you have that point of focus, and I'm going to remove that and put up a different one for you real quick so that I can draw on it. And then that will kind of just give me 1 second. It's making me jump through hoops here. Oh, it's the wrong. There we go. I got it. All right. So here it is. I take this and I go like that, and then I go like that, and I go like that. And I'm just tracing, by the way. If you look, like I am just tracing lines that are already there in that chart. And there's even
Hmm.
more. There's even more. So you see the star now, right?
Yes.
Hard
Yes.
to miss. Um, so each point of the star, each of these points, these are a point of focus.
Wow.
So they take all that energy of like the triangles of each of the triangles and it gives them a place to focus. Now, that may lead to some of that ADHD actually. Because looking at that, it's like, oh shit, it's all over. It's 360,
Yeah.
right? So it's like,
Yes.
oh, wow, interesting. So yeah, who knows? Maybe that's a little bit of some of that. Um, and I could see that because your Saturn and your Mercury are completely opposite of each other. Oh, and you have Neptune, confusing Neptune right there with your Mercury. Oh, and your Venus. Okay. All right. All righty. So the spiritual stuff is the Jupiter energy and the Sagittarius energy and the Pisces energy, which is really strong in your chart. You got a lot of Saggy. All this red stuff here is all this Saggy energy. So if you said, you already do the meditations, right? You've already been meditating.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
really, to me, it's just probably finding what you like, what resonates with you. And just so
Mhm.
that you know, this is someone who's supposed to kind of be a spiritual leader.
Mm.
Mars, 1 degree, I'm leading. And it's in Pisces, right? Spirituality, right? This is Jesus in the garden praying. Mars at 1 degrees. Solo, meditating, prayer. Yeah, that's what that is. So you have that, and you even have your nodes that are at 9 degrees, which can lead to, spiritual stuff and religious stuff. But I would say spiritual because you already know, yeah, it's more spiritual for you. And that's your North Node, but it says something unique. Unique, meaning it's unconventional, it's a little bit different, but this is something your soul wants you to do, that you're going forward on this goal. It's with group energy. And then, of course, the Mars right there as far as leading, right? And this would, having Mars at 1 in Pisces, what I love about that, and the reason it can so easily be a spiritual leader is because the Mars is normally all about very egotistical kind of, right? Just think
Mhm.
self, very self-centered even, but not in Pisces. Normally Pisces is going to be more along the lines of, it can dissolve Mars's ego and be like, you're not all the shit in the world. You don't, you're not all that. And, it just says, it's a very humbling energy. We'll put it like that.
Mhm.
So with that, you have those markers in there. Um, Let me see what else we got here. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Okay. So your Jupiter is at 10 degrees. Jupiter is spiritual. It's got the wisdom, it's got the spiritual aspects to it, but it's at 10 degrees. So it's very serious about it. It would even make a career out of it, right? Now, this could be a career in travel too, of course. And
Mhm.
maybe that was one of
Mhm.
the other things too, traveling for work, but just the ability to travel because you've got Jupiter at 10. So with this said, then maybe we do know for certain then that your sun is above the horizon in your chart, even though we might not know your birth time because you ended up traveling. And was it all like a gift? Not necessarily like, did you not pay for it, but was it beneficial? Did you enjoy it? Did it feel like, oh my God,
I love it. I love
Okay,
it.
good. So it was
Yeah,
a great experience.
very much.
Good. Well, then, yeah, maybe your sun is above your horizon line then. I mean, that's what I would definitely say, considering what you've gone through. And when was the last time I did your reading? How long ago was this?
Oh my gosh. I think,
Was
oh
it
boy, I
years?
want to say no, 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 no. I want
It
to
was in the
say
last year?
around June. Yes, I want to say in
Oh,
June. And
shit.
you hit on something about my family. You said something about a house, and I had just renovated my mom's home. I mean, I gutted it. Pretty much rebuilt it because it had been in disrepair for 13 years. And you mentioned something about a home and a house, and I'm like, oh
Mhm,
my God, how did she know this? Like, that
mhm,
was wild. And you said something about my family, and then you said my aunt and my cousin, and
mhm.
that was head on because my aunt is like my godmother, and she's 89, and I was helping caretaking her, taking care of her. So
Yeah.
you were really
It's
on point
it
about
sounds
it.
like I was reading this chart as though this was your correct chart, though. Like this is your chart, including your birth time. Because everything you just said, I could read that from this chart too.
Wow.
So maybe your freaking birth time is around noon. How weird.
And you,
That's
yeah, everybody was saying around morning time. So I guess morning to noon would be okay, right?
well, that's better than not knowing because
Yeah,
there's 24 hours,
yeah, yeah.
but we can narrow it down to like a 4-hour window. Wow, that really does
Right.
help. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
helps, especially if,
Hmm.
I'm just curious. So yeah, I could see the renovating because you had Uranus in your fourth house according to this chart. So that would make like what you just said, all those things kind of made sense. And day-to-day health and working for somebody, or I'm sorry, taking care of somebody, possibly family member, like this would be here too, Cancer in the like all of that kind of matches this.
Yeah,
What about significant relationships with feminine energy, maybe even mom or
yeah.
authority
Well,
figure?
yeah, yeah. I think
Let
I'm
me see if that's a
attracted
square.
to
That is a
some
square.
narcissistic, yes,
Yes, it's
and
because it's a
it,
square. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
stress and
is
tension.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow, this
Yeah,
time must be right then. It's a
yeah,
big T square. This is difficult, actually. I remember
yeah.
this chart now. Yep. I remember. This is why this is difficult. Look at that. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Well, damn, for not having your birth time, the noon hours, yeah, you've got you see that big star in there? You didn't have your birth
Mhm.
time, but it didn't matter. The big star, like it took care of it for you. Some
Wow.
call that the star of well, I call it Solomon's star. Um, oh, I can't remember the archangel's name. Metatron, that's who it is. I heard
Mhm.
it come through after I said that. The star of Metatron. And so the archangels and those kind of things, whether you align with a religion doesn't matter. Because it's more than religion.
Right.
It's way more than religion. Okay. So
Mhm.
are you looking like for are you curious as to like what to do next? Like what's the next step to take on that path?
Well, yeah, yeah. I'm very curious about like my spirituality is number one to me. Like I don't feel connection with the family. I'm
Sure.
kind of getting, I'm back and forth in this narcissistic relationship. I'm willing to let that go at any time. So
Oh, good.
I'm not very like attached to individuals. I'm
Yeah.
more so wanting to ground into my spirituality and
Yeah.
see where I'm supposed to be so that I can grow in the spirituality.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's
Um,
funny you're
and
saying what you're saying.
my brother passed away on April Fool's Day. I don't know if that I remember you mentioned health and stuff like that, and family, and I don't know if that was foreseen either. But
Well, because you
yeah.
have like this Mercury is siblings and it's right next to Neptune.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that could have definitely have been a thing. Along with, the third house is also siblings. So, looking, if we were to go back in time and look at the chart then to see, um, yeah, you can usually see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But having Mercury next to the Neptune makes things and people kind of dissolve and disappear.
Hmm.
Neptune can be death. It can be I'm one with spirit now. I've returned to the source. So can Scorpio, but the Neptune next to the Mercury, yeah, because your Mercury is with family. It's at 4 degrees, so it even speaks more to a sibling because it's family. Huh, interesting. All right, so the narcissistic stuff and what you're releasing and letting go, because when I referred
Hmm.
to your moon, you right away said narcissistic, but it's right. Your south node, which is a release and a let go, is in your 7th house. It's right here next to that moon. So absolutely, the release and the let go, letting go of the past, do that. And narcissistic energy for Pisces stuff, because it seems like this setup, this alignment on your chart with your houses seems to kind of work. But Pisces is about knowing my boundaries and establishing my boundaries. So that means
Mhm.
with people, that means with everything. It's a really
Right.
sensitive energy. So you're going to have a very sensitive body as well.
Mhm.
Physical sensitivities, sensitivities to your head and to sound. Do you feel that you're
Yeah.
sensitive with sound?
I do consider myself empath. Like, and
Mhm.
I think that's why I maybe like being alone
For sure.
because yeah,
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 I totally get that. Totally.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. It is very hard having a lot of high level of sensitivities and then being around people. But because, according to this anyway, if this is close to accurate, this says, uh, you know, you've got significant one-on-one relationships that involve the Pisces energy, but they're relationships that you value. And so you already mentioned your spirituality is number one,
Hmm.
but it can be people in your life, and setting boundaries absolutely would be important.
Hmm.
It's one of the big lessons of Pisces. And to see through the illusions and the delusions of Pisces energy, Um, doesn't sound like you have the illusions and the delusions. It seems like you've gotten by just fine. Um, and this says that you have Uranus at 15. So this is unconventional beliefs. Okay. So what this
Hmm.
tells me is it's really authentic and unique. And if we're saying that this is you, like with the time,
Yeah.
this means you're gonna create this form of spirituality. It's different. It's very individualized
Mm.
because it's really going to express who you are. It's about your individuality. It's
Mm.
original and unique. But this Uranus energy is the inventor.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're gonna invent whatever this form of spirituality. So it's good to
So
seek out some of the traditional stuff just to have
right.
like a foundation. But Uranus says, because you first have to know what the traditional stuff was
Right.
before you can break the rules. It's just like anything that we have to learn. We have to learn all the rules first. And then when we're getting creative, then we get to break those rules when we're
Right.
creating, right?
Yeah.
Of course, if
Yeah.
you live in the States, you'll see that the people who have money, that's what they do all the time, right?
Hmm.
They break all the rules and do whatever the hell they want. So so if
I
you
kind of
haven't explored that,
yeah.
which is interesting
I
because
yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. I understand what you're talking about because I am into OBEs, out of body
Uh-huh.
experiences, and I tried and I almost got it, and I just scared myself back into my
Absolutely.
body.
Yeah.
I dream a lot. My
Yeah.
mother, who's passed away 22 years ago, has taken me, and it's so crazy. She showed me like my grandmother and like these people was around and they were all gone, and it was a great uncle who I'd never met, and I saw him, and it was so crazy. He was he dressed up very nice, and he had pockets at the bottom of his trousers. It was very nice trousers, and it was pockets at the bottom, and I'm like, that's crazy. and
Mm,
and and over here in Thailand, I actually saw a pair of pants with pockets at the bottom of it,
really?
at the cuff. I couldn't believe it. I could. So all that to say, like, I I look to astro travel. I look to try to OBEs and so forth. I realized that in communicating with my mother, that her mouth never moved, and I
Right.
started and it got to the point that I went to a psychiatrist, and
Oh,
she didn't get me. She didn't
oh, so sorry.
understand
Yeah.
anything. But I
Yeah.
said to her, I said, well, let me just ask you this. The next time you dream, just see if your mouth was moving. And what then the more I listen to NDEs and
Mhm.
OBEs, I'm realizing that it's telepathic how people
Mhm.
communicate. So
Mhm.
then that was a affirmation for me, or confirmation,
Yeah.
that okay, this was real. But it's like I have no one to really talk
Right.
about all this. So
Right. And that is
I don't know what
difficult.
to
So you need
do.
to
So I'm stuck.
do you seek a community?
I just watch YouTubes.
Mhm.
I like, and now that I'm in Thailand and Malaysia, and especially Thailand, I love their culture of Buddhism and meditation.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like I
right.
said, I'm going to relocate here, and I'm going to hope, to seek out a group of at least meditation and so forth. But as far as a community, I no, I haven't.
Well,
Yeah, and
well, do
definitely
you
not in
need that?
Charleston.
Do you need it? I
Yeah.
mean, this energy is kind of like go it alone energy.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to go it alone. It just means that
Mhm.
even if there's a group around, you're really, 'cause plus your Mars is also like the leader energy, and though there might be a group if somebody's following along, but
Mhm.
the leader is kind of separated from the group, right? Because they're the leader, right? And so
Yeah.
that's kind of reinforced in your chart in a few
Yeah.
ways. This is very much like independent energy. The Uranus there, you got it in two spots where it's very independent. It's like it's okay if I'm doing this solo. And actually, the things you're describing, um, yeah, those experiences that, well, it's just you and your family members,
Mhm.
right? Kind of guiding you along on the other side, which
Yeah.
is fascinating because you have Scorpio, right? Which is this really psychic energy. This is the sign of mediumship and the esoteric and the occult, but you have it at a degree that is all about communication.
Mm.
So I would just keep developing this. You're
Yeah.
connected, just keep developing it. I mean, your sun is right there as well. Because so far, what you've been saying kind of, I can see it in this chart, like it matches with what you're saying. So to me, talking to your family members, people who are already on the other side and your ancestors, they know how to work with that energy. They know because not everybody's relatives on the other side they understand how to work on the other side.
Mhm.
And so if you have people that do, and you feel that they're trustworthy and they're guiding you in a good way, then I would encourage you to keep it up and to keep developing it, to keep
Yeah.
working it.
Thank you.
Because, yeah, you're definitely not crazy. I wish you would have told me you were gonna go see a I mean, if there's things that are deep, like there's a lot of deep wounds and stuff, because this can definitely represent some stuff from the past and trauma.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it for sure. And so, but to ask them that particular question about the out of bodies and all, yeah, yeah, you might wanna save that for, um, I don't know, if you come across an awesome spiritual teacher who who you can confide in,
Mhm.
you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Even
you.
if it's just doing it from a distance, whether it's online or whatever, but if you were to meet
Mhm.
somebody, especially with where you're located, you're gonna be around people who you can access, who are into meditation and who that's a
Mhm.
part of their lifestyle, and that's not I think here in the States anyway, I think people, I don't know. I think for a lot of folks, it's like, oh, yoga is the closest they get to something that would be
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, and I totally understand, I totally understand what you're talking about, and I would just encourage you to keep doing it, especially since
Thank you.
you're in a position where you can focus on that. The only concern I would have is just making sure that you have a way to keep yourself grounded. which is
Yes.
fascinating because you've got Earth in the home, and that would definitely ground you.
Hmm.
So, yeah, to me, that it's a nice combination that you have. And sometimes our charts and our lifetimes are just to develop other skill sets that go beyond. But a chart like this, normally when people have the Merkaba energy like this, the Metatron thing and the Solomon star, right? When people have that, it's usually a spiritual journey. Even though there's lots of other things that have to be handled, it's not necessarily a division of here's my life, the material, the tangible, and then here's the spiritual. It's usually the challenge of doing them both simultaneously.
I receive it. Thank you.
Hmm. So
Thank you.
if you can do them both simultaneously and still function, right, then do it.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't want to take up all your time. How does the health thing looks? Because the only thing with me is that I feel good. It's just that in my sleep, I'm dreaming more than deep sleep. And I dream 2 hours. I'm 54 years old, and I'm dreaming 2 hours. I'm dreaming hours and a half, and I'm getting a lot of REM sleep, which I think is also this traveling on the other side, but I'm not getting the deep sleep. So is that going, do you see
Okay,
health?
well, um, I think that what's going to occur, because we have Uranus over here in Gemini,
Hmm.
and this energy kind of speeds up our mind, and it
Hmm.
it activates other parts of the mind, like the other side of the mind even. So, did this occurrence with the lack of deep sleep, was this in the last 6 months, or has it been longer? Is that a
Seems
new?
like it's just kind of started
Mhm.
I usually wasn't getting the REM sleep. Now I'm getting the REM sleep, a lot of the REM sleep,
But when
since
did
I've
that
been
start?
really trying to since I've been trying the OBEs, I've been getting a lot of REM sleep.
So, what's the timeline on that, though? Is that, like,
I say in the last 3 months.
okay, okay. Alright, so in the last 3 months, what's been happening? Because this might help, and so just pay attention. Well, you already pay attention. So the Uranus moved from, like, the 1 and the 0, it did a retrograde, so that would mean it was in Gemini, and that again, that's our mind, right? And
Hmm.
now it's sitting right here on your Pallas Athena. Okay, so the Pallas Athena is part of our mind as well. It's part of our creative mind. You follow?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
creative mind is where we see images. Okay,
Mm.
so the OBD and the creativity and using the other side of your brain and basically not getting the deep sleep, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because of the Uranus energy here. And once Uranus moves along, um, I think it's going to change when Uranus hits your Saturn. So that's going to be a little bit of time before it does that. But it's also because you have, yeah, I don't want to get too astrology on you, but it's also because you have Pluto here at this 1 degree. So you have Uranus that's talking to your Pluto, which is bringing back the history and the past and the people from the past as well, because this is in your eighth
Yes.
house. So, in other words, these connections and these communications that you're having, you're going to keep having them until Uranus moves and pulls off of until it won't be sitting at the table with Pluto any longer. Okay. So that's going to be, you've got, well, Uranus is going to go all the way to 27 degrees of Taurus. So once that does, you should see a difference. You
Okay.
should even start to see it dwindling. Well, it's on this Pallas Athena. It might take a month or two
Okay.
for it to start dwindling.
Okay.
But maybe if you just if you're concerned and you need to ease off on what you're doing, that you felt increased the
Hmm.
OBDs, if you felt that increased the REM sleep,
Yes.
yeah. If you think that's a
Yeah.
connection and that's your concern, well, then try to strike a balance.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
have
could
to.
do that. But I would be if you had your chart and if you could follow the astrology to track the timing and the
Hmm.
placement of these things when this is all happening, I would bet that once Uranus pulls back into Gemini, and then goes beyond the 1 degrees and goes to the 2 and the 3, I would bet that this communication with these folks and this occult stuff, the 8th house, I'll bet that that definitely slows down. So this might be a not that those people won't always be there, but it's really intense right now
Hmm.
because, it was connecting with Pluto
Hmm.
and that stuff in the 8th, because you even have it's not just Pluto, but you even have these relationships,
Yeah. The
significant
narcissist.
one-on-one relationships in the 8th
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So, and as far as, your health, just try to strike a balance, and then if you come back in, like, I don't know, another 5 months or 4 months or whatever it is, or whenever you want, really, you can come every week if you like,
Hmm.
but the point is, we could then reassess where you're at and where the objects are and to see what the changes have been.
Okay.
Because 'Cause we're still working with a chart that so far seems pretty damn spot on for
Yeah.
just being
Very
like a
much.
noon hour chart.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
as long as you're
Thank you.
feeling good in terms of your health,
I
um,
feel great.
oh, that's the main thing, that you feel good. Just pay
Yeah.
attention to your body, and you said you're kinda holistic anyway.
Yeah.
You take that holistic approach, which makes a lot of sense because at least in this chart, this is
Hmm.
about the past and history, and Virgo is
Yeah.
holistic energy, the 6th house. That's holistic energy, that's Virgo.
Yeah.
So in other words, you have that knowledge. You did this in the past.
Hmm.
You follow?
Yes, I am. Yes, very
Yeah,
much. Very
yeah.
much.
I
Hmm.
mean, it's so weird, a noon hour chart, and it just is spot on for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
Also, thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I
Yep,
can
you're
I tell
welcome.
you that this whole time I'm on a 46th floor in this condo in Bangkok, and this bird has been sitting here this entire time on this on my balcony, and it won't move. It's just looking at me,
Do
and
you
it
know what
will
kind
not
of a
move.
bird it is?
It's blue on the top and yellow at the bottom, and
So, have you noticed in the past that have you noticed the connection between animals and, oh, I don't know, that they're kind of like signposts along the way? You get messages from them, have you noticed that?
You know what? I believe so because I remember I was going to Charlestown Landing. You all probably may not be familiar about Charleston, but that's one of the parks. And my mother used to work there. So periodically I would just ride through there because just nostalgic and
Yeah.
thinking about my mother. And as
Mhm,
I was leaving, this bird was on my rear, what's the window on my right side. I'm
mhm.
driving on the left, of course, but the bird just followed and it just stayed at that window the whole time while I was leaving Charlestown Landing. And I believe it was actually the same color as this bird right here.
So there can be meaning in the color, and there could be meaning with the type of bird it is. So if you
Yeah.
don't know Ted Andrews, he has a book that he
Mhm.
wrote from a long time ago.
Yes.
You've got it?
Yes. No, 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 I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you wanna check it out. Ted Andrews, he's got the
Okay.
different birds in there, and then because he was very spiritual, and he worked with
Yeah.
animals, and it's been a great it's a great little guidebook to read. Well, it's actually they have a small one. Actually, there's a really small
Mhm.
one sitting right here. There's a really small one. This one's super small. It's like a pocket companion. And then there's another
Yes.
one that's really rather thick, and it's got all the animals in it. And,
Mhm.
For people who pay attention to the animals and the birds, you can get deeper knowledge and understanding of what's going on, and you'll be able over time, you'll just start to know even more. You'll connect even more, and you'll realize you can understand the animals.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
nature, and that's Pisces. So it is the spiritual side too of the Pisces energy. Because what proof do we have of all that wonderful, magical, spiritual stuff but the nature, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yep, I would definitely look into that if I were you. For
Thank
sure.
you. Thank
You
you. Thank
are
you. Thank
welcome.
you. I
I'm glad you
appreciate
brought
you.
that
I
up.
appreciate your time. Very
Yes.
generous. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. You take care.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye bye.
Wow. I'm so glad that I got a okay, so SD, we have her time, and apparently this seems to be her chart. That usually never works out that way. That well, y'all saw her chart. No wonder it worked out, right? Wild. All right, we are past the witching hour. It is 11:12. Steffi, how are you doing? I don't know what the hell that just was. You know what? I've often thought about that because to me, I mean, I don't know. I've often thought if there's not that I've ever been like, oh, yeah, I want to go there, but I've often thought of a place that has like a spiritual alignment. Do you know what I'm saying? That lines up with um, yeah, but a lot of US. I can't imagine. Yeah. I've always figured because I see always usually a lot of guys, a lot of men. And I think, well, you know, it was easy for them, to leave the US as a man. But as for a woman, if you're not with somebody and going and moving in a partnership already, if you're not married, like how do you do that? Right. And even if you are, as a woman, I would really be hesitant going to a place that I don't know, it just seems like globally women are, well, second class citizens, you know? So I don't know, man. I really admire people who are able to do that. I'm always like, that's amazing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you want me to look? Do you want me to look at your, since you're here, do you want me to look at your chart since you were next? I know we're already after 11. But I know sometimes your schedule is a little weird, although I don't know if your schedule is weird. You got out of the asylum, so I don't really know what your schedule is. Or if you work nights, I don't know what your schedule is. You're all good? Do you have like a work schedule? Did they give you some hours at that you like? Some hours that you like? Oh, they're showing me that I can change the size of the texts and the font even. Oh my god, that's a lot of options. Wow. I should be clear next week. No schedule yet. Okay. So you're saying you'll come back next Saturday and I'll look at your chart then? Is that what you mean? Um, I swear sometimes this light like just does like this whole too much thing and then it goes normal and I'm like, what the hell? Oh, you don't start until November 17th. So are you all good with that? November 17th. That's an interesting week. I just got done editing that video. That's an interesting week. Readings were informative. Okay, that's good. That is good. Well, for anybody else, if I didn't get to look at your chart tonight, come on back next week. You could always get in on a private lives where I know who's going to be there ahead of time. The charts are already drawn up. There's really no surprises. And yeah, we arrange it and it's private. It's a smaller, much smaller private group. So yeah, if you want to be part of that, just go to the email, the Gmail down below, send me a message, say, gee, I want to do this. How do I get in? And I'll communicate back with you on how to get in to the private lives. They have to be done ahead of time. Made me take PTO. Ah, gotcha. Asylum manager tried to keep me hostage. I bet. They were like, no, you can't go. You're the only one that can calm them down. They need to hear your voice. Can we record your voice? Oh, I am sure you did. I'm glad you got the time off. And hubby's good? Or at least maybe there's a plan and you guys know the next steps. Yes. Well, I'm glad that you got some time off for real. If there's one thing that there's a shortage of, it's people in the healthcare industry, that's for sure. And I know Canada is taking people in from the United States, taking nurses. Not taking, that sounds wrong. I should not say that. That's what the US would do. But yeah, Canada's like, if you're a nurse, come on over. We welcome you. Any healthcare profession, come on down or come on up. We got a place for you. And I'm always like, man, if I was in the nursing profession, in light of all that's going on, I probably would have left. And then a part of me is like, you better not. God damn it. You better stay right here and fight. Fight the power, damn it. Fight the power. Oh, Steffi, that's a good idea. You have the perfect voice for it. And yeah, just use your voice. Don't do any other silly. I don't know. I've seen some stuff and it's like, I don't know. For me, it's over. I'm Taurus, so I want like just simplicity. I think there's beauty in simplicity. That's me. And so for me, just your voice would work. Just your voice. I don't need to hear your tapping or you know what I'm saying? All this other shit. Just your voice. And I don't know what else. I don't know what people need. I don't do the ASMR thing. For me, you know what ASMR is for me? Watching cooking videos, but no music. I cannot stand when they play music. I'm like, listening to the food prep is the music. Like that is the soothing. Like that's totally. I can't stand when they do music. I'm like, you just killed it. And then they have the music on the whole time. And I'm like, holy shit. Okay, well that's good. That's good that he's got something and it's seems like it's being effective to some degree. Well, that's good. Yeah. Meditation guide. Yeah, I like that idea. That's great. That's great. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. For sure. Do it. All right, I'm getting delirious. I have to get out of here. So we'll see you guys next week. Yes, we will. We will see y'all next week. Steffi, I think it's just you and I sitting here talking to each other. I got to sign off. Otherwise, I'll just be sitting here babbling. Start saying shit I shouldn't say. Well, thank you for coming by, and I'm glad to see things are going well for you. I'm so glad you got time off. Really, truly. All right, everybody. I am hanging it up. Thank you for everybody who sent money to the channel, people who send gifts to the channel. People send gifts to the channel just to pay it forward so that other people can enjoy to be a part of the private lives. If you want to do that, whatever, wherever, there's ways to gift the channel down below in the details. And then we'll be back here next Saturday. All right. We'll start all over again. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. I'll see y'all. Thank you, Steffi. Take care. Bye-bye.